the exceptional entrepreneur. God is a mind fixer, a heart regulator. The exceptional entrepreneur. Are you a businessman or you are a young graduate and you seek help from above? Have you been concerned about your career? Do you need fresh insight on how you can take your business to the next level? You hear me? You need supernatural intervention. Except the Lord build a house, the labor in vain that builded it. I want you to join me this Sunday for the exceptional entrepreneur. God is a mind fixer, a heart regulator. The exceptional entrepreneur. Service begins by 8:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. The exceptional entrepreneur. Right here at the Breath of Life Ministry, 24 Banikoro Street, off of Banikoro bus stop, just after Pangrove bus stop, on your way to Maryland, Shobolu, Lagos. The exceptional entrepreneur. I'll see you when you come.
So how do you manage fear of success? Again, true success does not require exploiting others. People think you have to take advantage of others before you be successful. So I don't want to step all over people to get ahead. And this line of statements takes people back to their integrity and probably with the spiritual backing. And I'm sorry to say, I know I'm in church. When you look at spirituality and you look at the desire to succeed, sometimes spirituality gets tested. I don't know whether you've gone through that before, but it takes only a strong and grace of God to overcome that. The more successful you are, the more people dislike you. Is that true? Okay. And sometimes your thinking may be turn that fear around and imagine how your success might inspire others. Okay. Build a support network of people who appreciate and love you for who you are. So I'll give you 10 steps to succeed or overcome failure. 1, get out of your comfort zone. Make mistakes. Mistakes do happen. It's normal to make mistakes, but sometimes we are afraid of making mistakes. Self-development. Stop limiting yourself. Be happy. Finish what you start. Never give up. Live life to fullest. Live in the present and dream big. Do we ever dream big? Some people don't know how to dream big. I truly believe when pastor pray here, when pastor said things, it's like dreaming big. Because sometimes I ask myself, how can that one happen? And pastor always say, you just have to put yourself in it. You have to just, think like that. Exactly. So positive motivation harnesses the power of positive thoughts and feelings to move you closer to your goal. When you think negative, there's no way you can move forward. So, whereas negative motivation is associated with low self-esteem and takes away from your goal. Overcoming fear of failure. Accept your fear. Fighting your fears. Expand your comfort zone and rethink failure. It's always nice to fail in life. But I don't know whether you guys agree with me, but I always tell people that if you've never failed before, you are setting yourself up for a disaster. Because once you fail, it makes you humble and you learn from your mistakes. So the tip, you can use goals to increase your productivity and succeed under the following conditions. You should choose goals for which you have the capacity and skills to reach that goal. For new goals, performance measures should be done in terms of learning outcomes achieved. In cases where the stretch goals are very far away, you should set sub-goals in between. And I think this one is self-explanatory. If you're going to Ibadan and you know you cannot handle that long drive, you can stop at the Shagamu and take a rest, then start your other trip. Internal beliefs to succeed and overcome failures. Beliefs about ability. Make sure you have ability that you truly believe in. Believe in self-efficacy. Believe about self. The things that causes failure, from my own experience, mostly are fear and thinking down on yourself that you cannot do it. Once you put you can, definitely, I think God will give you that grace so you won't be able to do it. It is yourself or you that is most important when you're trying to manage your success and failure. Managing success and failures all begins with yourself. It is the individual, which is a person. Self means essential qualities distinguishing one's person from other. Did you know one of the key traits that all good, successful people share in common is practice? Before deciding to achieving your goals, you should ensure that you have enough practice with the skills that are required to achieve your goals. People that are successful, it didn't come overnight. They've made their mistakes. They continue going and practice. And one thing we do as human beings, when you see successful people, you think it just happened. And then we start running the race that we can meet. The impact of stress on success and failure. On both sides, when you're rich or when you're successful, it's stressful. And when you fail, it's also stressful. So there are a very close relationship between managing success and failure and stress. Any individual who is at the peak of the success will weigh down by the stress of keeping up the same performance and success level. I think about the bankers that we have in this church. On the other hand, a person who has failed will also be bogged down by the stress of overcoming his failures and success. However, the stress has a direct adverse impact on performance of an individual. Did you know also that when a person sets smart goals, such goals help to increase persistence, passion, and productivity of an individual? The traits for efficient managing of success and failure. For a man, know who he is and his belief, comfortable with yourself, view learning and experience as an ongoing process, empowered, confident, insightful, valuable, and high self-esteem. Lady, be independent, strongly motivated, sense of humility, respect towards others, strong ethics, creative, superior perception about reality, increase spontaneously, and highly frequently of peak experiences. How do you handle your success and failure? Accept that each failure and success is a learning opportunity. Also, create a personal vision. Focus on what you can do, not what you cannot do. Develop a perspective of opportunity. Create a willingness to learn and develop, and learn to love ambiguity. Tips of managing your success and failure. Self-evaluation. The biggest reason that you are not able to handle your success and failure is because you yourself choose not to. You should remember that every starts and ends with this self. So, sooner you accept your fault, the better you will be able to manage your successes and failure. Self-assertion. Say to yourself, I want to succeed. Such assertion are important as once you accept that it is your fault, it becomes your weaknesses, and the next step is to eliminate these weaknesses. Your desire to succeed and overcome failure should be sincere and must be started by changing small daily gesture. Take responsibility. Take responsibility of your failure and understand that if you fail to achieve a particular goal or a given task, it's because you did not try enough. By admitting guilt, you take ownership of your action, continue working on the task after accepting responsibility of your failure. Identify ways in which you fail. Ask yourself, what causes me to fail? Sit down with a pen and paper, write down the ways in which you think you fail. By writing down, you will be able to focus and identify them more clearly. Do a self-check. Every morning, do a self-check and decide what task you would complete by the end of the day. At the end of the day, do a self-check again to see if you completed all the tasks you have listed or you had listed. Do not stop. If you fall back a few steps in your effort to succeed, do not stop. Start again. If you are a chronic failure, you will experience problems staying on the course for first few weeks. So even if fail is some of the goals on your list, do not get disheartened. That's all I have for you today. Thank you very much.
Something struck me in your points in managing failure and success. You said, know what you can do better and also know what you can't do. And I want to ask a question because we human beings, we have a lot of limitations, but most times I realize that we create limitations for ourselves. We have potentials to do a lot, but we now sit down and say, no, I can't do this. And so how do you identify the things you can do and the things you can't do? Those things you can't do, probably you can do them, but you're just lying to yourself saying that I can't do those things. Yeah. I don't know if you understand.
Yeah, I understand, and I think you've answered the question yourself. You said lying to yourself. On this slide, it says you need to think big. You set goals, and you set goals that even you'll be afraid of yourself that can you meet this goal. What that one does is it has given you a platform to try and reach that goal. If you don't reach all the goals, that's okay. You keep on trying. And if you reach the goal, you set higher goals again. Do you understand? So sometimes we delimit ourselves thinking that we're not up to par. But if you cannot undo a goal, you will know. Do you understand? Not that you're lying yourself, you know that you may not be able to, but that will challenge you to work harder to be able to achieve it.
Like I heard the man who did the lights, the bulb thing, failed
so many times?
So many times before he got it right. Now, at one point, should I tell myself that, okay, I can't do this thing? If I keep failing and I keep failing and I keep failing, I'm doing it and I'm failing, I don't have the skills, I don't have that ability to do that thing, and I try and I fail. When should I get to a point where I tell myself that this thing, I can't achieve it, this is not something?
But during that process, you probably must have identified the reason why you're failing. When you say you don't have ability, then you can go back and retrain yourself to get that ability to be able to achieve it. On the slide, it says, even some of your list will be failures. It's identify your weaknesses. Then you need to try and do something to, make sure it becomes strength. Whether to retrain yourself to get more education regarding things you're trying to do. We all, it's a learning process. And I think that's why I said earlier that if you have failure in your profile, your resume, It really helps. And when you go for a job interview, they'll probably ask you that question. Have you ever failed in any task? And if you say no, I'm telling you, they know you're lying. So you need to tell them why you failed, what you did to accomplish that goal.
Interestingly, my question is for Pastor, actually.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Few years
which pastor? We have so many pastors.
Pastor Jedafi.
Okay.
One of the tips you gave, sir, was leaving your comfort zone. Now, Pastor has a message, staying on your grace line. Grace brings comfort, and automatically you fall into a comfort zone. So my question is to Pastor, how do I leave my comfort zone without stepping out of grace, because I want to achieve another level of success, or I want to avert failure? Bishop, help me.
Okay. Before Pastor says something, let me even say one thing. Leaving your comfort zone does not mean that you're going out of grace. Because I truly believe that anything that you do is because you have the grace. Even if you think far, it's because you have the grace. If you don't have the grace, you won't be able to think that far. So leaving that comfort zone, I think, is just telling you that think outside the box. Don't delimit yourself. That's the way. But Pastor can put the biblical verse into it.
We are here for this entrepreneur, and we are all learning. And I'm still downloading these things. So maybe at the end of all questions, I will speak with him, and then we'll add the spiritual reality and see how we can get there.
Let's say workplace now to like man-woman relationship. So
Okay,
I'm going
family.
to ask maybe male and female relationship.
Okay.
Now we have a situation, a guy is blessed, a lady is blessed, because today we are talking about managing success and failure. So a guy goes to a lady, maybe trying to win her love or propose to her, and he gets to be turned down severally. So how is he going to manage this failure?
You can answer.
Now,
Okay.
if we turn it around also, female are also, in this situation. How will you advise them? Let me put it that way.
Okay. I have a pastor here that will probably answer that. So,
It's just a question of how do I get into people's hearts? It's very simple. I have some difficult people that they don't pick your calls. If you knock on their doors, they will not open the doors. But I also know that early in the morning, as early as 4 a.m., the first thing they will do is to pick up their phone and to check for a red button. So early in the morning, 4 a.m., I'm sending you a chat. Hello, sir. How are you doing today? This is what I want to discuss with you. Blah, blah. He opens it the first time, he's not responding. The second time, I'm sending him an email. The third time, I'm also sending him a chat. Okay, what do you want? At least it's a question of how do I penetrate. It's a matter of changing the approach to it. Before the first time I'm talking to you, you are not answering me. Then I don't talk to you again. I listen. I will send a message that will speak more than the volume.
okay, let me add to that, because when it comes to relationship, it's a different ball game. All these things we're talking about trying to achieve success on things that you can manage. You cannot manage other person's feelings. Both of you are successful, and the man goes to the lady, and she said no. And this is what I always say. I said, you have to consider environment. In this environment, I remember growing up, they say you try until you succeed. It's not like that when you're trying to get a relationship. If the woman says no and you continue, then definitely in the States, it will become an harassment. So you have to understand the limit. So this environment, they say no, you just keep on trying. And I always make this example in class to my students that when in a relation, when somebody tells you no, just keep on going. And you can try probably once or two, but if she's very adamant about that no, just leave. But whatever that's yours, we probably, will not elude you. I truly believe that.
You made a statement that we should not be scared of making mistakes. And I was thinking, there are some mistakes we make that would affect our business in the aspect of you losing some client. So should there be a limit to, I don't get that part. Should you keep making mistakes and keep pushing on? Or is there a limit to the way you make mistakes? Because there are some clients that won't take it lightly with you when you make some mistakes. Due to my job, there are some people you don't make some mistakes, and you would not want to lose them as a client. So how do you handle that situation?
What I say is, to me, I believe it's okay to make mistakes. When you make mistakes, you will learn from your mistakes. And some people don't learn from the mistake, they make the same mistake. But it's still a learning process. Because probably that will tell you that you are not who you are. You need to try and look for other training to really get to where you want to be. There's nothing wrong. You can even fail every month for 12 months. But if you know your goals and you stick with it and you learn from those failures, you will succeed. People that are successful, Bill Gates, Michael, they can tell you how many times they failed. But they keep on going at it because they know that they're going somewhere. So don't lose hope of that.
How do you deal with the fact that certain times when people become successful, it's as if it comes to amnesia? All of a sudden, they just forget everything. Simple things that they would used to, like before, used to talk about, people they used to be friends with. All of a sudden, now those people are no longer anything. You just want to, how do you deal with that?
You have to understand that level has changed. But that's a joke. But what I'm saying is, sometimes the reason why maybe some people are not successful is because probably they keep in bad companies, and they realize that they have to move to the next level. Because if they continue keeping those companies, it will drag them down. As long as you can provide 3 square meals, have a roof over your head, you're successful. So if they don't want to do it, you leave them alone. When they, something will make them humble, they will come back to the level, and that's what it is.
My own line of meditation was Psalm 23, and for me, it hits me, just that topic and all that. And I was looking at verse 4. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Rod and staff don't comfort in the normal sense. But the word says, thy rod and thy staff comfort me, which talks about process. The comfort zone, if you look at the beginning of the scripture, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures, comfort zone. Things are good, everything is rosy, everything is fantastic, then something happens. He leads me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley. There must be a valley. I don't know how. Even Jesus, throughout all his messages, he talked about persecution. He talked about lack. He talked about you suffering. And he said, your focus should be in heaven, where you would have the riches, where you will have the mansions. I go to prepare a place. So if you don't go through, you're not a Christian. I'm sorry, but that's the truth. And the word of God says, I will fear no evil, which means your positioning. What you are going through, don't entertain fear. Let your focus be on God. As you are being bashed left, right, and the side, there's something that will happen. In verse 5, he prepared a table. The bashing is for you to be able to know how to sit at that table, because he's preparing the table before you in the presence of your enemies. So you need to be equipped. What you're saying, Pastor just said it. What is your sword? Your education, the experience that you've had through life, that valley process. You need that knowledge to be able to sit well at that table to eat that success that God will prepare for you. God bless you.
Thank you, Pastor. I thought you wanted to ask a question. And sitting down there and talking, it seems as if you're talking to Only me. It would have been better if you're here so everybody can partake in that. But anyway, this is what I want to say. I think I've said it, before. And I always say the only person that I fear is God. And sometimes when you, let me just use Nigerian language, when you arrive, when you start, getting successful, people will start beefing because they realize that you moved away. But you cannot worry about them. You just have to focus on you. So if you do that, you realize that, all these externalities, it's no issue. So thank you very much.
The exceptional entrepreneur. God is a mind fixer, a heart regulator. The exceptional entrepreneur. Are you a businessman or you are a young graduate and you seek help from above? Have you been concerned about your career? Do you need fresh insight on how you can take your business to the next level? You hear me? You need supernatural intervention. Except the Lord build a house, the labor in vain that builded it. I want you to join me this Sunday for the exceptional entrepreneur. God is a mind fixer, a heart regulator. The exceptional entrepreneur. Service begins by 8:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. The exceptional entrepreneur. Right here at the Breath of Life Ministry, 24 Banikoro Street, off of Banikoro bus stop, just after Pangru bus stop, on your way to Maryland, Shobolu, Lagos. The exceptional entrepreneur. I'll see you when you come. Today, I release the blessing. I release the blessing. 2016 is your year. Your year of abundance. Your year of increase. Your year of open doors. Your year of favor. They will like your face. They will like your voice. You shall be preferred. I release open doors. Take it. Take it. Take it. Take it. Shout fire.
Awesome time we've had at the entrepreneurial service, and I just want to encourage you today to make out time and be available for the service every Sunday morning, 8:30 a.m. and I know that God will touch you in the areas that you need to be touched. God bless you.